He appeared with his guitar and amplifier in tow. I don't know. But I think his amp just freaked out. It started making this squealing, fuzzed out sound. The audience hated it, but Punky thought it was brilliant. He tinkered with busting up the amps to get that broken tone.
Punk Sinatra. So this is my first time seeing a completely AI generated documentary style piece. It's fascinating how realistic it can be, especially when conceptualized by a real life person. So this was a well crafted fictionalized life of someone, and tying it to someone who we are already well aware of as a historical figure in Frank Sinatra, and also the formation of a popular music style that we're already fully aware of as in punk. And it gives us anchor in time and sort of a jumping point for this story, which further grounds it in reality. It is jarring what AI can do. It doesn't look realistic enough for me to mistake it as an actual living subject, or for me to even want to replace it completely as an actual living subject, but it definitely gave me an idea conceptually of potentially what our future animated features will look like. Although it was interesting to see a full piece using this technology, I do think it make the documentary a little bit more interesting as opposed to a typical talking head B-roll imagery documentary. Because of the animation, it made it more interesting to watch.
Wow, there is a lot to say about this one. There's a lot to appreciate. Its only fault, of course, would be the generative creative AI stuff. It looks pretty well. I mean, it's not 100% convincing, and I know that's not the point here. I think this is a really good use case for generative AI. Let me just get it out of the way and say that had this been traditionally filmed, I think it's just brilliant. It's really well written. It's a great idea. It's a great concept. The execution is great. So the only thing that sort of is jarring is um, seeing those the just the weird uncanniness of the AI actors. As they will get better, I'm sure that this isn't the point of this. I'm sure. Um, Again, this was just a great use case for generative AI. The script writing, all the human elements were fantastic. I thought it was really just a strong idea. Again, executed really well. Um, Overall, yeah, I really enjoyed it. Generative AI notwithstanding.
Punk Sinatra. This was cool. I loved the preface at the beginning of what was AI and what was human generated, and this experiment in the intersection of that, and seeing the pretty remarkable generative power of AI in this brilliant collaboration. The writing was sharp and funny, and the deadpan delivery worked really well for the documentary style, which always takes itself maybe a little bit too seriously. The escalation of this journey was inspired and built an ironic twist, and I really love this. Whenever I think of Frank, I'll be thinking of Punky as well from now on.
This film is called Punk Sinatra. This was a clever, hilarious mockumentary. What set this film apart for me were the incredible interviews done by nobody and the computer. The characters were so lifelike and believable. You really had to remind yourself that the visuals were AI, although voiced by real humans. I enjoyed seeing the photo stills too. They really captured the punk genre. The story was very convincing, so many anecdotal details. There was also a lot of humor flushed into the piece, as it captured the story of this misunderstood rebel who needed to go to Japan for fame. I would love to see more work by nobody. Well done.